Before we get into the podcast, make sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at This Strange World Podcast and on Twitter at This Strange Pod.
Welcome back to This Strange World. I'm Gavin.
I'm Leah.
And I'm Chris.
And we're here. And no, it's not an NPR podcast. So
What?
silly. What? NPR should pick us up. We'd be so good. I'd stay serious for 2 seconds.
This Strange World from NPR.
This
My
Strange
name is
World.
Chris, and tonight we'll be joining myself by the fireplace as I read to you.
Oh.
My phone just went off.
My phone just went off too. That was Leah tagging us and stuff. Well, that really ruined the vibes. It's okay. How you guys doing? We haven't recorded in a while,
Sorry.
but I feel like every time we always
Guys,
acknowledge
we had Thanksgiving, like
a few weeks ago.
happy post
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Had stuff to
A few
do.
weeks ago.
That was a good few weeks ago. What'd you guys? What's your favorite food? You eat anything good?
Yeah, my mom made mashed potatoes, which are like my favorite. Is it smashed or mashed? I don't
Mashed,
know.
right?
Dumb, I don't know.
Smash? Who
Smashed?
says
Okay, I used to say smashed
It is.
potatoes when I was a kid.
Well, you're not wrong.
Smashed potatoes.
What?
You're not wrong
I
though.
mean, they are smashed
They are
potatoes.
smashed
Exactly.
potatoes, but they're also mash and
Oh.
smash are the exact same word.
Comment. Leave us a comment. Let us know. DM us. Is it smashed potatoes or mashed potatoes? We want to know what you
Really
think.
just-
These are the questions that we have to answer.
These are the questions we should be answering. I don't know what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
So is are mashed potatoes your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Yeah, and my dad has been making rumberry sauce since he was a kid. Since I think
Ooh.
his parents were even a kid. So we
Is that kind of like a
That.
cranberry sauce type of thing, but like different?
yeah.
Okay. I dig
Secret
it.
Recipe, Gavin.
Oh, I'm not asking. I'm not inquiring.
No.
You can keep your secret family recipes. Chris, what
Really,
do you like?
you're inquiring? Mine doesn't.
I'm not inquiring. You can keep your secrets. Chris, what is your favorite?
I'm a big
Thanksgiving.
turkey guy.
Yeah.
Big
Mhm.
turkey guy.
Big
Yeah.
turkey.
Did you get a big turkey or a small?
No, I got a small one. We just had the family
Yeah,
over
same.
Thanksgiving. That
Did
was
you
it.
take a big nap afterwards?
I wanted to. I was really tired. I'm still tired from the turkey.
Honestly,
I haven't
me
gotten
too.
Yeah.
over the turkey now.
Yeah. I like corn
you?
casserole. Do you guys have you ever had like a corn casserole?
No.
It's very niche,
No.
but like usually my aunt makes it.
Ooh.
But so I had to have my mom make it. Oh my god, it's incredible. We'll all get together. I'll make you guys some corn casserole. I don't know how to make it, but I'm sure I can figure it out. Yes. We'll do
Post Friendsgiving.
pandemic, post Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, today it's fun. We're talking about something that I don't know. It's funny. Here's how I'm going to intro it.
Okay.
we know what we're talking about. Chris is going to lead the discussion.
I am.
We know what the overall topic is. We're talking about cryptids, but we don't know specifically what cryptids we're talking about.
Right. You might not even know
I mean, there
what cryptids
are
means.
the Loch Ness Monster and
Yeah.
Bigfoot and Yeti and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are some
Yeti,
cryptids,
right?
Yes.
Yeah, those are. We'll define what cryptids are. They're
We
like
are.
Yeah.
I have it. I have the
Right.
definition. I was
Oh, so why
prepared.
don't you just go right into it?
Yeah.
You want to just go
Go.
into it? All right,
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, so
Bet.
the point I was trying to prove was that I know that we're talking about cryptids, but we don't know specifically which ones you're talking about. But they'll
Mhm.
probably be in the title, so you listening will probably know. It's just me and Leah don't know, but
Yeah.
you probably know what we're talking about because you've probably read the description, or you didn't. Anyway, Chris, I'm
Right.
sorry.
All
Take
right.
it away.
So a cryptid, according to was it Merriam-Webster, the big
Yeah,
dictionary that everyone uses. Yeah.
There's
So-
there's a lot of dictionaries. There's like
there's like Oxford.
Merriam-Webster. Yeah, there's
Merriam-Webster.
two of them. We said two of them, so there's got to be. There's like
Those are the biggies.
That's it. That's all of them.
That's it. If they don't know, it's not a word.
They don't. There's the Urban Dictionary. That one
Oh,
you can.
that's-
That one can
Oh,
put
that's
in
that's
there.
good.
Dangerous.
I always look on the Urban Dictionary for what like a shorthand text stuff means. Like I'm always like, if someone sends me like a shorthand text thing that I don't understand, then I'll be like, look it up and put Urban Dictionary. Like I didn't know what IMO was until I
In my
maybe a year
opinion.
ago. Yeah, I didn't know that
Am
Yeah.
I, yeah.
because I'm.
I didn't know what ISO meant. And my
IXO?
mom knew it, and I was like, What?
Wait,
What?
IXO?
ISO.
ISO in someone's opinion? What? What is it?
No. In search of.
In search
Oh,
of? What?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
not
my
know
mom
I
used
didn't
that,
know
and
that
I
one.
was like, wow.
that. Yeah.
Oh,
The
that's
point
fun.
is dictionaries. Anyway, sorry to keep
All right.
getting us off track. Chris,
All right.
Yeah.
dictionary.
Merriam-Webster says that a cryptid is an animal that has been claimed to exist but never proven to exist. And so that's a big keyword there, is
Oh.
never proven
My
to
A+
exist.
report card.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
so cool. I love that. That's
So
sick.
actually, interesting thing about that though is because so this always makes me feel cool about when you hear cryptids like I don't know, like Chupacabra or Loch Ness Monster and stuff, is those are cryptids and people are like, oh, those aren't real. Well, a kangaroo was a cryptid before they actually found them. Like someone went to Australia, like explored there, said that there was like these like moose that hopped, and people were like, that's not real, and that was a cryptid.
Like
That was
jumping
a
Jolly, it's a kangaroo.
yeah, it was a
Is
kangaroo.
that a really bad accent or what?
Well, they didn't have Australian accents back then, but but yeah. So if
How
that's
can you
if
say
that's
they didn't have accents back then? They probably had an accent.
no, I'm saying they didn't have Australian accents back then.
They probably had something.
They had
Something.
something.
Although it wasn't English.
Anyways.
Whatever.
All right.
Point. Yeah.
Anyways.
So that's interesting. Interesting to start that off because if kangaroos are real, but they were cryptids once before, so who's to say that these aren't real?
You know what that kind of reminds me of? Like, I don't know what overall category it would be, but the idea of talking about like ghosts and UFOs and like all those types of stuff where it's like
Super.
you can't. It's not been proven that they're not real. Like
Right.
you can't really say
Yeah.
that they're not real, but there's not a lot of proof that they are real. Anywho,
All right. So let's get into them. So I'm going to start off. The way that I'm going to be talking about these cryptids is I'm going to start off with a small one. So this is one that is very local. So this is one that I've heard of, but a lot of people haven't heard of. Right. This is
a
a very
lesser
local,
known cryptid, if
right,
you will.
right, lesser
Yeah.
known. And then I'm going to go into something that you may have heard of, you may not. And then I'm going to go into probably the most famous cryptid that has ever existed.
All right. I just want to
Can we
go.
guess that before you say
I was about to
that?
say, I would love to
Good.
guess what that is. We both
Yeah.
have no idea what it is. Do you want to guess first, Leah?
You
We're
can
probably
guess.
gonna
No, you
guess the
guess
same
first.
thing.
Should I tell you if you're right, or should I just
No.
leave it?
Not yet.
Oh.
Not until we both guess.
Yeah, don't tell.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Leah, go first.
Wait until. No,
I'll go
wanna
first. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah,
I
we'll
think
go
we're
first.
gonna
you go
talk.
first.
I think
Yeah,
we're
we'll
gonna
go
talk about Bigfoot. I think Bigfoot's the most. I think it's between Bigfoot, Yeti, and Loch Ness Monster, but I'm gonna go with Bigfoot.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna do Loch Ness.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
gonna be my second choice. I think it's got to be between one of those two.
All right. So we'll work
Are
on
we?
it.
Are we? Is one of us right? You can tell
Yes,
us
one
if
of you
one
is
of
right.
us is.
Yes,
One of
I
you is
figured
right.
one of us is right. Cool. All right, let's just get into it.
All right. So the small one. This is the lesser known. This one's very weird, and I don't really believe it, but this is
They're
cool.
all kind of weird and quirky and stuff.
Yeah. One of them. I'm just gonna tease this one. The medium one. I was going into researching this one. I didn't believe it at first, and then I started reading stories, and it was kind of recent that these things were coming out. So I'm like, maybe. Maybe.
I feel like
Yeah.
recent stuff. You have the internet, you got social media.
Well, no, it was like 100 years ago, but
Okay.
still recent.
So
Wow.
that's
Well, I look.
our-
Wow. Look at me. Yeah. People are tweeting, being like, "Well, look at this monster in the woods." Yeah,
Okay.
I look like a fool.
All
let's
right.
continue.
So let's get into it. Without further ado. So the small one is called the Dover Demon. Have you heard of the Dover Demon
I
before?
feel like I've heard of the
Hey there,
Dover Demon.
demons, it's me, your boy.
Your
I was
boy.
gonna say your girl, but your boy.
I feel like I've heard of that one, but also maybe it's like the Dover something. I don't know.
I've
Okay.
never
I feel like I
heard
may
of
be-
it.
So the Dover Demon was a small humanoid creature found in Dover, Massachusetts. It was quite the scary sighting for many in Dover during the 1970s. Insiders reported seeing something that was reminiscent of the small gray aliens that you see in like pop culture and stuff. However, the demon's skin wasn't gray. It was more of like a rosy orange color. They also said that the eyes would shine if one would shoot light at it. So like cars' headlights would make the eyes glow. They said that the demon looked more like a large head on a skinny stick-like body. The demon walks on 2 legs, but it can also be seen walking on all 4s. And it was only seen around 3 times in the late 1970s, so many assume that this isn't really a pressing matter anymore. Even still, the Dover Demon has some pretty scary stories associated with it, and I'm going to talk about 2 of them So these are interesting.
Wait, what year
We
did you say it
love
was? You didn't say
1970s. I said 1970s.
1970s?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
50
people
years
thought it was-
ago?
Yeah, like 50 years ago. The
That
people said it
seems
was less than
recent.
50 years ago.
That's you were saying one that was like 100 years ago. That seems pretty recent
Oh,
to
this
me.
is recent. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
really recent. And who's to say that it's not an alien running around?
True.
Who's to say? Who's
to
to
say?
say? Okay, so the first story I'm going to talk about, it came when 3 teenagers were driving late at night, and I took this explanation from my source, and I kind of copied and pasted it into my script. So I'm just going to kind of go over it. I'm not going to completely plagiarize it, but so 3 teenagers, 3 17-year-olds, Bill Bartlett, Mike Mazzacca, and Andy Brody, were driving on north on a road called Farm Street. Bartlett, who was behind the wheel of his Volkswagen, spots something creeping along the low wall of loose stones on the left side of the road. At first, he thinks it's a dog or a cat until his headlights shine in it and he realizes it's nothing he's ever seen before. So the figure slowly turned its head and stared into the light, and its 2 large, round, glassy eyes shined brightly like 2 orange marbles. He said that the head was shaped like a watermelon and it was resting on top of a thin neck, which was about taking up the rest of his body. So it was about like the neck was where the arms came out. So it was a weird stick-looking creature.
Like the Blair Witch stick.
Kinda. Yeah, well,
Uh-huh.
I think of it more like The Rake. Have you ever seen The Rake?
No.
Or like an alien. You know how the alien
Yeah.
is like its body and then it's the arms out? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people think it looks more like an alien creature. So the skin was hairless and it was peach colored and it appeared to have a rough texture. I don't know how he knows this from just briefly looking at it, but he said it stood no more than 3.5 to 4 feet tall, and the figure was shaped like a baby's body with long arm and legs. It was making its way along the wall, and its long fingers curling around the rocks, when the car lights surprised it. Unfortunately, neither of Bartlett's companions saw the creature, so it was only Bartlett that saw it. The sighting lasts only a few seconds before Bartlett can speak, and then the car leaves the scene. Then the creature is gone. He ended up sketching the alien. I don't have the picture on me, but it's quick Google search. If you look up Dover Demon sketch, and then someone drew it what he thought he saw, like, and based off his sketch. So he described it, and then the sketch was the same, which is kind of weird that would work out.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
not what I thought it was going to be.
Is
I
it
looked-
creepy looking?
It kind
No, it looks like an alien.
It does look basically completely like an alien. I will say though, I got very distracted when you were talking because when you said like their eyes were like shining bright and stuff, the first thing I thought of was shining bright like a diamond. Anyway, I'll share my screen so you guys can see. Not you people at home, but it's definitely it's an alien. A lot of these pictures are on all fours,
Yeah.
but it pretty much does look like some sort of an alien creature, with just big eyes.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Oh, there's Bartlett on your right there, on the far
This
right
one?
of the screen.
Yeah.
Yep, there he is.
Oh, holding a picture of
And
it.
there's his sketch. Yeah.
Ah,
Interesting.
spooky. It looks like an
It's
alien.
kind of cute. Aw.
I mean, a
I
lot
don't
of these
think I want to
drawings make
see
it look cute, but I don't know exactly how cute it is.
So the second sighting happened around midnight on, I think it was the same year, or pretty much kind of around the same time. The second
By
sighting
the
was
same
around
person?
midnight. No,
Or
different people.
you said?
Yep.
Okay.
hmm So this is 15-year-old John Baxter leaving his girlfriend Kathy Cronin's house at the south end of Miller High Road. Baxter starts walking up the street on his way home. Half an hour later, after he started walking about a mile, he observed someone approaching him. Because the figure is short, Baxter assumed it's an acquaintance of his. He thought it was his friend, his M.G. Bouchard, who lives on the street. John calls out and it didn't respond. So Baxter and the figure continue to approach each other until finally the latter stops. Baxter then halts as well and asks, "Who is that?" The sky is black and overcast, and he can only see a shadowy form. Trying to get a better look, Baxter takes one step forward, and the figure scurries off to the left, running down a shallow wooded gully and up the opposite bank. As the figure runs, Baxter hears its footsteps on the dry leaves. He follows the figure down the slope and then stops and looks across the gully. There, he sees the creature standing in a silhouette about 30 feet away, its feet molded around the top of the rock several feet from a tree. The creature's body reminds Baxter of a monkey's, except for its dark figure 8-shaped head. Its eyes, 2 lighter spots in the middle of the head, are looking straight at Baxter, who after a few minutes begins to feel uneasy. Realizing he has never seen such a creature before and fearing what might do next, he backs carefully up the slope, his heart pounding, and then he walks very fast down the road to the intersection at Farm Street, which is the exact same street, by the way, that the other people saw him. So Farm Street was the exact same street that the other guys saw it. Kind of cool that the stories matched up. There, a couple passing in a car pick him up and drive him home. So that's his sighting of the Dover Demon.
Where was this? Like, where is Farm Street? What, like, country or
This is in Dover, Massachusetts,
Dover, right?
which is
Okay,
a
right.
very no one unless you kind of live in Dedham or know of Dover's a very rural
Or
rural town.
Needham or whatever.
I feel like I've
Or-
heard of
yeah.
Dover, Massachusetts, though.
Right.
I
It's
don't
a
think I've heard of
very-
this. I feel like I've heard of Dover, Massachusetts. I think
I've
that's
heard
where
of
I was.
Dover,
Yeah.
It's a very wealthy town in Massachusetts that's very
Oh,
rural
I
and very
think I've
horseback
been
ridey
to
and
Dover.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, yeah, because there's a store called Dover Saddlery as well. Which
I
is
wonder if
horse
it's the same. I wonder if it's the same Dover.
attire.
This is wow. I'm so intrigued because I always wonder how, like, if there's multiple sightings of stuff. First of all, how back in the day, before there was like social media and websites and conspiracy stuff, how were people able to just like connect two stories like that? I mean, I assume it was in the
Right.
newspaper or something like that, or like police or someone knew about it, that somehow they found out about both. But the fact that they were able to put all of these together, like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. And it's weird that
Mhm.
I doubt. I mean, I don't. I mean, again, I don't know how close Dover is because I live in another town, so I don't know kind of how the culture is there. But
Wait, what year did you say the story came
this
out?
is in the
really fast?
70s.
Okay, because Dover Saddlery came out in 1975 in Wellesley, Massachusetts.
Okay, so it might be the same Dover.
It's a
Yeah.
cover up. It must be a cover up. It has to be a cover up for sure. The Dover Demon,
For sure.
1000% runs that,
like-
and they ride horses.
But like, if Dover wants to sponsor us, like hook us up.
Just
we
to say
should
that.
we should really try and just like plug random places and like stores just to get sponsors. Like not big name brand places that are like big
Like Dover
companies.
Saddlery.
It's real like niche. Dover Saddle Ranch. Dover, is it Saddle Ranch? Is that what it is?
Saddlery.
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 Saddle Ranch is like where
Yeah.
people like it's like that's in California. Saddlery. Dover Saddlery. Yeah. Horses. That's their new tagline.
Horse.
Horses.
Horses. So there are actually a couple explanations for what this could be, and they were both.
Is it like a fox or something like, or a coyote?
I wish. No, it's. I mean, and they're both kind of refuted too. I have no. Take this what you will. So one explanation for these sightings, and many people believe this, is that the sightings were actually a baby moose that was seen in weird circumstances. So like it was like foggy, or it was a baby moose, and the light wasn't right, or whatever. But people have counterclaimed this and saying that the moose couldn't have been around. First of all, because moose don't really come to Massachusetts, especially not where Dover is, and it's the wrong time of year for a baby moose to be walking around. It would not be walking around in that time of the year. I think this was April. The moose wouldn't be walking around. Another explanation is that people say that it was an illegal pet gibbon, which has orange fur when it is a female. So someone might have had a gibbon and it escaped, and that's what they saw.
What? A
A
gibbon?
gibbon. A
A
gibbon.
gibbon. What's a
Hi.
gibbon?
I don't know.
Gibbon? Gibbon. Oh. I've never
It's
heard.
like a monkey.
Oh, but it's a primate. It is an ape. And it's
And
huh.
I can disclaim this already because it says that it's only a foot long. So
Yeah, it's a small ape that's usually found in the tropical forests of Southeast Asia. They're like great apes, but smaller. They don't have higher cognitive ability. Oh, and they're not self-aware. It's a shame they don't know about themselves. Poor gibbons.
how do they know that though? How do they know they're not
Gavin,
self-aware?
you wouldn't like being one of those.
Oh my god, how could you not be self-aware? Yeah, how do you know if something's not self-aware? Do you say, do you
just
know what
kinda
you
go
are?
through,
And they're like, no, what is? And you're like, wow. Someone write that down. Larry, write that down. This thing doesn't know what it is. What? Primates, man. That's like
That's
us.
just when you're
but if-
vibing. They're just vibing. Gavin, they're
You're-
just vibing. They're just
You're right. They're just
chilling.
vibing in the trees, man.
Exactly.
We should be vibing in the
100%.
trees. 100%. We
Chris
should be
is
vibing.
looking at us like we just gotta shut
Chris
up.
is like, I'm trying to talk about this Dover demon, and you're talking about vibing in trees.
He's talking about demons vibing. Anyway, so that's the Dover demon. That was very interesting because that's a very very famous
Massachusetts
local thing. Like not many people would know about the Dover demon if you weren't really into cryptids or you didn't come from Massachusetts. I thought we had a track meet we had a cross country meet when I was in middle school.
Flex. He can run, guys. He can run.
Dover. So we had to drive through Dover, and everybody in the bus was like looking out the windows, like, "Where's the demon? We gotta find the demon."
That's kind of interesting. The fact that like you knew about it, and like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's probably not like one of those like children's thing. Like, it sounds like it was a more real thing than just like a old children's like tale. But that's kind of
Mhm.
that's interesting. It's also weird to see because this one specifically does seem like it's bridging the line between cryptid and alien. Because some of these articles about it say like alien creature, which so I think there's a lot of that sense with cryptids of like that it's could potentially be otherworldly, but also this whole thing gives me similar vibes to like the SCPs and stuff that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Except these
Yeah,
ones
they
like might be real.
Well, that's the thing too, is that I don't know if Leah wants to comment on this. I feel like we're taking up a lot of our airtime. It is kind of weird SCP, but SCP is fiction, and this stuff could be real. It's fiction, but it could be real, and
It just
it's
hasn't
not.
been proved wrong.
But the thing too is like the accounts are from real people, so even
Yeah.
if they're making complete
Yeah, but
crap
also
up,
you don't know what's like clickbait and what's.
well, that's
you
what I'm
know,
saying.
actually-
Like
that's
people could be
what's,
doing
like,
hoaxes and
True.
stuff.
But I mean, from the 70s?
You can't always trust like news sources as well, is what I'm saying. Like especially
Mhm.
right now with all the type of
Yeah,
you know
screw the media.
fire towards the different sides, you know. But yeah, it is kind of like SCPs. I think SCPs though are like a different fictional universe, like you said, where this could be a different realistic type of universe.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's my taking on it.
Yeah, spooky.
All right, so you want to get the next one?
Sure, why not? Let's keep it all rolling.
This one, I was teasing this in the beginning of the episode. This one in particular, I was like, this is fake. This is completely fake.
Wait, I have a question. I have a guess.
Go for it.
Is it Chupacabra?
No. It's not
You mentioned
Chupacabra.
that one, and I have heard of that one, so I was thinking it's that one.
I was gonna do
I
Chupacabra.
honestly forget what the Chupacabra was. What
Well,
was
I
that?
think the
I'll give-
Chupacabra could potentially be a big one. I don't know if that, or is that a medium one? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I've just heard of it.
I'll give Leah a hint. It's not from her state, but it's near her state on the left.
Am I in it?
No, on the other side.
On the left?
There's a sports team named after this cryptid.
The Patriots.
What sport?
The Yankees.
Is it hockey?
The Giants. No.
The Devils?
The Jets.
Yeah, it's named after
El
the Devils.
Diablo?
So this is why the Jersey Devils have their name as the Devils. This is called the Jersey Devil.
Ooh.
And this is where it comes from. So there you go. The Jersey Devil is an old legend in New Jersey. The legend claims that in the year 1735, in Pines, I read it. I said Pines, but it's Pine Barrens. So in Pine Barrens, New Jersey, a resident is pregnant with their 13th child. So this is, in an old episode, 13. Keep that in your head.
True.
13 is superstition.
right.
Go
Superstitious
listen to History of Superstitions. Also,
Go
go
listen
listen to the SCP Foundation episodes. We gotta repitch the episodes more. Whenever we bring up past episodes, go check it out. Available wherever you get your podcasts, and now available on Pandora. I don't know if we've mentioned that.
I don't think we have either.
I don't
But
think we've recorded
congratulations,
it,
everybody.
Ben.
For getting on
Available on Pandora. Anyway.
All right. So, 13th child. She was pregnant for 13. Woo. So when she learned of her 13th child, she shouted loudly at the heavens, declaring that this one be the devil. I don't know why. She would do something like that. Apparently, the home life wasn't that good. Her husband was kind of a drunk and didn't really take care of the kids. Anyway, she was basically cursing the baby, saying, like, I want this one to be the devil. So a few months later, she gave birth to a healthy baby boy. However, mere minutes after his birth, he began to change. He grew bat-like wings, a horse's head with antlers, and hooves for feet.
Ooh.
He also grew claws in his hands through the feathers, and the creature then attacked his mother and family, killing as many as he could. He broke free and started to attack the people in the town, and finally flew off into the night. Since then, there has been many reports of the Jersey Devil in the town and surrounding areas. This one, I heard it, and I'm like, this is completely fake. This is just folklore, whatever. So the biggest week of sightings happened in January of 1909. So this week, the residents of Pine Barrens discovered that in the snow, that there were strange tracks in the snow, and the tracks went under fences, on roofs, and through fields and backyards. So panic began to spread through New Jersey and many towns around it, and they all developed like posses, the big groups of people to try and find this beast. It is reported that bloodhounds caught the scent of the beast and refused to go after the scent of the animal, and schools actually began to shut down because there was low attendance. A lot of factories actually in New Jersey and these towns decided to shut down as well because the paths that you would have to take would go through the woods, and a lot of people weren't leaving their homes because they didn't want to walk through the woods. So they actually had to shut down the factories and the schools as well. So these weren't just tracks that they found and they're like, oh, there must be the devil. So there was actually a social club that was meeting together and they were attacked by the beast. And the devil even attacked a trolley car full of passengers. So the eyewitness accounts say that it looked like a flying kangaroo that came down and started attacking people, and then it left. One woman a couple years later actually said that her dog was getting attacked by the beast and she hit it with a broom, and then the thing flew away. So since this week, there hasn't really been a lot of other evidence for the devil, but many people, and this is even a couple of years ago, many people still say that you can hear the sounds of unearthly screams that can be heard deep in the woods of Pine Barrens, New Jersey. You can still hear the screams and the howls of this beast.
And
Interesting.
that gives me another reason to kind of avoid New Jersey.
So this is exactly what I'm saying, though.
I
So
don't
like,
even think we needed more reasons, but here's more reasons. That is spooky.
I'm not saying I believe it, but 1909 is pretty recent for things to be made up like that. And if it's a trolley car full of people getting attacked and attacking people in broad daylight, like I feel like that, you gotta
But if it does
wonder.
it in broad
It's not
daylight with
nothing.
a ton of people.
It's something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And if it was just tracks, you'd be like, well, that could just be a deer, or that could be like something. But it was on rooftops. How does a deer get on a rooftop? And
But you said it had
bloodhounds.
horse hooves, right?
Bird.
It had like hooves, yeah.
It
That's
was,
so
well, yeah.
like a big old bird. That's
Like a
so.
big
I
old
think
bird.
the spookiest part of that for me is the fact that theoretically it was like a child. Like theoretically, it's
Yeah.
like it was born from someone, and then they just became like the devil
Yeah.
or a devil. I don't know how they would be referred to as. But
Wanted a devil son or daughter.
are they like a devil, or this is like the devil?
I think it's just a devil. I don't think it's the devil, but it's
Yeah,
a
I thought
devil.
it was a devil.
Yeah, that's spooky though.
Yeah. And if you look at like pictures of this thing, it's like
I'm gonna look this up.
weird.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think I need to
really
look
weird.
at the photo.
Oh.
It's basically it's like a horse with wings and the horse has antlers and like
Yeah.
it's like just weird.
Well, yeah. So it. Oh wait. Oh, it kind of looks like a deer.
Yeah.
But wait, is it is it a four-legged thing or a two-legged thing?
It's a four-legged thing.
But all the things, yeah, it's showing it like kind of up on its hind
Well,
legs.
that's because it's flying.
Yeah, it looks just almost like a deer, but with a real long neck with wings. And here, I'll share my screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at.
It's not
Again,
that scary. You don't
People at home, look up the Jersey Devil on Google Images and you'll find it. This picture's scary. This must be a movie about it.
Okay, yeah. That
But,
gives
like,
me like
Is this the Jersey Devil? That just looks like a rat.
It just looks like a rat.
that was
on
like
the-
yeah, a rat.
People claim to
Mickey
photograph
Mouse.
it. That is so not real. That is so. That looks like the one meme. I don't know if it was originally a Vine or whatever it was of the the lawnmower like going off into the air. That's what this looks like, but it's not a
Like to the
lawnmower.
Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah,
Also,
like
have you noticed that every time someone tries to take a picture of something, it's like the worst quality camera,
always
and it's
so
like,
blurry.
Mhm.
yeah,
But then this one looks a lot more like this is just like a drawing of it, but it's much more like what you think of when you think of a demon.
Mhm.
right.
Has
Yeah.
a demon-esque.
I don't know how to describe it. It's got like it's like muscular, and it really just looks more like a human with like hands and then
It's
the
kind of
leg.
like if you took like Satan, kind of, and then just put like antlers on him and goat
Yeah.
legs.
It's like a
Right.
humanoid figure with arms and hands and like antlers and big
Yeah.
wings. And then the legs. How do you describe those legs? They're like animal legs, like
They
got,
I
like,
thought
like
they were
goat,
like
close
horse
to goat.
hooves or like goat or a goat or
No.
like.
yeah, like a
I
goat,
wouldn't say horse.
something
Say
like that.
goat.
They got like the weird bends. Anywho,
Mhm.
yeah, that's it is interesting how there are always just these why are the pictures always so blurry? Like really, you can't like pause and steady yourself. But I mean, cameras also
Wow.
like they probably weren't that good back in 1909 or whatever you were talking
Yeah,
about.
that's true.
Oh, yeah, right,
Very
yeah.
good.
Also,
Right.
when was the Jersey Devils the team? When was that Devils? When was that team founded?
Oh, probably recently.
That
like
was founded
50 or something.
I don't
in
think they're part of the original 6 though, so they're not that old.
1974.
Yeah.
That's just a fun fact for you guys. That doesn't really have to do with anything.
When are the original 6? Is it 6 or 7 teams? When were those founded?
That's a good question. Of the
I don't
The
know.
NHL?
Of the NHL, yeah.
Let me just
I
open.
can name majority of them, but
I assume it's on the
What?
Wikipedia.
The original 1942.
No.
So it's the Bruins,
Right.
the Blackhawks, the Red Wings, the Canadiens, the Rangers, and the Maple
Yeah.
Leafs.
Let's go Rangers!
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know anything about hockey, but they
Ooh,
gotta
that
figure
would be
out
a
some
fun
team.
podcast idea.
Oh, sports expanding stuff. I already now want to talk about like ghosts and aliens and stuff. We'll get spooky for season 2, for
Right.
sure.
Right.
Mhm.
And we can definitely do another Cryptids episode too if we want to. 'cause
Oh
there's
yeah,
a lot
I
to
almost
talk
kind of want to. I don't want to take it away from you, but I would love to lead a Cryptids episode.
about. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So should we get on to the next one?
Big
Or
one,
should we-
big final, big guy, the
The big final
person.
one.
Yes.
Basically, when everyone thinks of cryptids, they think of this guy, and this guy is we could do an entire podcast on this guy. This guy
Oh,
is
I bet I'm right. I know
Yeah.
I'm right.
Gavin won.
I
And
thought I thought it was gonna be Loch Ness. That was my number 2. That was a tough.
Oh, that'd be a good one too. All right, so now this is the cryptid that you've all been waiting for. Perhaps the most
probably in the title.
right, probably. So perhaps the most famous cryptid in history of cryptids, Bigfoot.
What were you?
I thought you were gonna say
Were
something.
you expecting applause?
I was expecting you to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that pause in.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna take it
guys.
out.
You can keep it in. That's fine. I just can't see you. That's why. I
Yeah.
had to check back and you're just kinda
Bigfoot.
Alright.
That's my guy.
Ow!
Oh, I'm sorry if that was loud. It'll be equalized in post. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, just during
Probably
it's when your
peaked.
ears hurt. Anyways, moving
Bigfoot.
on.
Bigfoot. So this creature has been around a lot longer than recorded history became a thing, and every year many hikers in America's woods report the large hairy man. Thousands of people have claimed to have seen Bigfoot, and it's commonly described as a large, muscular, bipedal, ape-like creature, and that means walks on 2 legs. Roughly 6 to 9 feet in height, and it's covered in hair described as black, dark brown, or dark reddish. A pungent, foul-smelling odor is sometimes associated with reports of the creature as well. However, Bigfoot isn't necessarily an American-only creature. Many folklore around the world include a large, hairy, ape-like creature roaming the wilderness of the country. I don't want to say this if it's wrong, but I feel like Yeti is one of those things. So there's like the skunk ape, Yeti, Bigfoot.
So Bigfoot's gone
Wendigo.
international. He hops in the plane
Oh, so you're saying
cargo
that there's all these
to-
similar types of folklore of other creatures? Because Yeti,
other
I feel like
creatures.
is like, if Bigfoot is a black bear, a Yeti is a polar bear. It's just like similar,
Right,
but
it's
like
just-
slightly
it's a
different.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Which is
Different climates.
if Bigfoot was real and Yeti was real, then they'd probably be related.
They
somehow.
might be, but
Maybe.
also I don't even think you mentioned. But isn't Bigfoot also referred to as Sasquatch?
Yes, Sasquatch is a very common name for Bigfoot.
Alias.
Alias, aka.
That's how he goes in the planes and the cargos.
That's how he sneaks around. He's got another
Alias.
passport that says he's got one driver's license that says Bigfoot and one driver's license that says Sasquatch. And his Sasquatch
Yeah.
one, that's the one that's the 20. It says he's 21. So that's the one that he.
Yeah.
That's his fake. Is Sasquatch.
It's just Bigfoot with a little bit more hair on him than the other one.
Exactly. They're like, where do you live? He's like, North America.
Washington State.
Only when it's cold.
Only when it's cold. Anyway.
Okay, so the history of these beings are very all over the place, and I'll try to make some sense of some notable ones, some notable sightings of this Bigfoot. So in 1847, there were stories about miners on Mount St. Helens where ape-like men attacked the group. The same sort of attack happened in 1924, where a group of people were attacked by a group of ape-like men. In the 1920s, a reporter tried compiling stories of Bigfoot, many of whom were from indigenous tribes who have been living in the area. These reports that he compiled pointed to the idea that the indigenous people believed that this was a real creature, and they were actually offended when some declared them to be legends. They also heard that the creatures liked to stay away from white men and spoke the language of the tribes. That was where I go, okay. All right,
I mean,
guys.
I can't fault him for that.
Yeah.
But so one thing that I took away from that is it sounds like there were multiple Bigfoots. Like it's not just
Well,
one.
that's what people said. And then they also said, this is really weird. So a lot of Native American tribes and indigenous peoples in Canada and the United States all kind of had their own Bigfoot. So some were Bigfoot, some were Sasquatch, some was Wendigo, some was, other things. So there was a bunch of different like Native American folklore for a big creature like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like Bigfoot has a big fam. So
Yeah, he does have a big fam. Yeah. Well,
Well,
that's what people think is it's not actually a creature; it's more of a species.
Yeah, I was gonna say if there's one, there's gotta be more than one. Like
Right.
especially for something like Bigfoot, where it's like there can't just be one. Some of like the alien creatures, like the Dover demon, maybe there's some sort of a more alien thing there, or maybe there are more than one. But yeah, no, there's got to be more than one Bigfoot.
Mhm.
It can't
If
be.
it's a real
That's
thing,
that guy's making miles. If he's going on foot, like all around, being spotted,
that's a big fam.
maybe Bigfoot does cross country. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't think that it's like one being. I think it might be a species of things that we just haven't discovered yet. Now, the thing that is weird about that is we've pretty much colonized the entire United States, so it's pretty hard that we would find a new species that's this big. So I think that that's where my skepticism comes in.
But you can argue the fact that there may be things from the past that, because he's been around for a while, it seems. So if I were
Right.
to be our Professor Nathan, he'd be like, well, you'd have stuff in the past that you're still discovering to this day.
Mhm.
Boom!
Maybe
That's
maybe
what he would.
Bigfoot's self-aware and is purposely trying to hide themselves from human beings and our society, which is pretty hard because, like you just said, we're like everywhere. So it does seem like it'd be pretty hard to hide
To
from
miss something like that.
humans. Yeah.
Right. So there are actually a lot of hoaxes that have come out of this thing. So I'm going to go into first about the sightings, just because Bigfoot sightings are huge. You think of Bigfoot, you think of sightings. So many scientists who have looked into Bigfoot, have come to the understanding that the sightings are real, but they're just mislabeled. So many think that the sightings are actually bears or some sort of like large animal that you just can't see clearly, or you think you see a bear standing up on its hind legs, or that some of the sightings are actually just hoaxes. So they're not real, they're just hoaxes. And I'm going to go into 4 hoaxes that I think are kind of funny. Voice crack. That I think are kind of funny.
Oh.
So one man, I don't have a date on this, but one man claimed, these are the funny hoaxes that I just love these ones. So one man claimed that he captured Bigfoot and he was going to show his captured beast on television in a pay-per-view event. That's the first red flag. So during the event, he didn't have Bigfoot, and he claimed that the woman who said that he had Bigfoot was misleading, and he also said that his viewers were gullible. So that was one of the hoaxes that came out of this thing. The second hoax, this one's my favorite. So one man claimed to have found Bigfoot, and he actually he shot and killed Bigfoot, and he froze the body in a block of ice. He was given $50,000 from Searching for Bigfoot Incorporated in good faith. After the story was published by many major news networks, including BBC, ABC, and CNN, the body was thawed out. They found that the hair wasn't real, the head was hollow, and the feet were rubber.
Ooh.
So there you go.
Rough.
So the man just took $50,000 and dipped.
Dang. Duped.
So one man tried to dress up as Bigfoot and put on a ghillie suit, which is what the armed forces use to hide and like brush and stuff. So one man was actually killed by a car when he was trying to pose as Bigfoot in the forest in a ghillie suit. So that was one guy. Just these things are so funny.
These are rough. These are more like awkward than like these are just like little like
Yeah.
Dumb
cringeworthy
ways to
Bigfoot
die.
moment. Exactly.
Oh, and this one's my favorite one. This last one, I know I said the last one was my favorite, but this one is this is funny. So in January 2014, Rick Dyer, a perpetrator of a previous Bigfoot hoax, said that he had killed Bigfoot in September 2012 outside San Antonio, Texas. He said that he had scientific tests performed on the body. From DNA tests to 3D optical scans to body scans. He said it's the real deal. It's Bigfoot and Bigfoot's here, and I shot it, and I'm going to prove the world. He said he kept the body hidden in a hidden location, and he intended to take it on tours across North America in 2014. He released photos of the body and a video showing a few individuals' reactions to seeing the real Bigfoot body, but he never released any of the tests or scans. He refused to disclose the test results or provide biological samples. He said that the DNA results were done in an undisclosed lab and he could not be matched to identify the known animal. Dyer said that he would reveal the body and tests on February 9th, 2014 at a news conference at Washington University, but he never made the test results available. After the Phoenix tour, the body was taken to Houston, and on March 28, 2014, Dyer admitted to his Facebook page that his Bigfoot corpse was another hoax. He had paid Chris Russell of Twisted Toy Box to manufacture the prop from latex, foam, and camel hair, which he had nicknamed Hank. Dyer earned approximately $60,000 from the tour of this second fake Bigfoot corpse. And this is actually the funny part. He said that he did actually kill Bigfoot, but he didn't take the real body on tour because he thought that the body was going to get stolen. So,
Okay.
Your whole story.
so basically,
Stop.
basically, they're like, you shot the real Bigfoot? Yeah. What's your source? Take my word for it, man. I shot him.
Trust me.
Sus. That's not. No,
That
I
is
don't
sus.
trust him. Sus.
Emergency meeting.
Sus. Beep. Sus. This guy's sus.
Yeah. So those are my cryptids. I really like doing the research for this thing. This was fun.
Yeah. Wow. Cryptids are cool. I'm so into it. I totally dig it. I'm super into it.
I love cryptids. They're so interesting to me.
I mean, because you don't know if these things are real or like fiction, fact or fiction. So that's kind of like
It's
the cool part.
fascinating. It's all just very interesting. I find it all very interesting.
So, which one, Gavin, was your favorite?
I think that they were all cool. This is kind of like that one BuzzFeed show where they try the 3 different foods and then they're like, which one is worth it? That's the show. Which is the most worth it? And it's like, wow, those were 3 great options, guys. I gotta say Bigfoot. I like Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Bigfoot's a good one.
Yeah. Very classic.
That's a classic. That's like I knew that was gonna be the one we were talking about. Although maybe next time we'll talk about the Loch Ness Monster. That could probably sustain a whole episode. Bigfoot probably could have sustained a whole episode. We're probably gonna delve even deeper into it. If you want to hear something like that, let us know. Leah,
absolutely.
Out of the Dover Demon, the Jersey Devil, and Bigfoot / alias Sasquatch, what was your favorite thing that we talked about?
The Dover or what was it? The demon, the devil,
the Jersey Devil,
the Jersey Devil, or the Dover
Devil, and the Dover were my top 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are.
They
were all cool.
I mean, I wouldn't want to see either of them IRL.
No, I would never want to come into contact with any of these.
Oh
cryptids.
No.
But
no,
they're fun to talk about. Chris, I mean, you obviously came with all these. What are your thoughts about them?
I had known about these before. My favorite one probably the Jersey Devil, just because the origins are literally like a folklore thing, like supernatural like story.
Yeah.
And then like it actually ended up there was like an entire town like a recorded, documented frenzy in the early 1900s about people going after to find this thing, and then people getting openly attacked by this animal. And somehow there's no record of people getting attacked by that animal, but there's no newspapers. It's not a huge story, but
I think you did a really good job bringing these two because they all are also kind of like the Dover Demon is almost more like alien-esque potentially.
Right.
The Jersey Devil is like has like that supernatural element, and then Bigfoot is kind of just like the classic, like what you think of when you think of these types of kind of mythical creatures, I guess you would say, but like these things that like that haven't been proven, but people think are real. It's a really well-rounded choice picks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for this spooky, interesting, cryptic type of episode. It was actually really interesting, and hopefully we'll make another part out of this, or maybe dive deeper.
Yeah.
Ooh.
For sure. Teasing season 2? There's definitely going to be a lot of sequel episodes in season 2. We won't tease anything too specific, but we already got some in mind.
We signed our own NDAs.
We signed our own NDAs. We're not talking about it. I mean, if you asked us about it, we'd probably tell you. We're pretty open. Well, now we're at the end. Be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. We'd really appreciate it.
And check us out on Pandora. Finally, we're on Pandora.
Yes.
Yay.
Not even like finally. I feel like most kind of like new podcasts like that like students make, they usually like aren't. First of all, they aren't on like all available platforms. It's usually like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But then being on Pandora, I'm pretty proud of that. I think that's pretty sick.
That's fun.
People like us.
We should get sponsored by Pandora.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Pandora to put it.
Let's just try and get sponsored by like everyone. We should just try and get a sponsor, period. If you want to sponsor us, please
give us a shout.
Mm-hmm.
We're yes men.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll promote most things as long as it's not like bad.
We love
Well.
just hearing feedback. So again, comments, questions, or just kind of insights. Let us know.
Exactly. If you want us to talk about something, let us know. But
Mhm.
another great week. Only a few weeks left because we're gonna stop at the end of the year. We're gonna go on hiatus, so we only have a few episodes left. But there should be good ones. Pretty good. For This Strange World, I'm Gavin.
I'm Leah.
And I'm Chris. Thanks so much for listening. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. If you want more of This Strange World, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at This Strange World Podcast and on Twitter at This Strange Pod. And now it's time for the sources, because we didn't come up with these stories. They definitely came from somewhere. So Chris, where did you get your stories from today and these fine cryptids?
So I got the Dover Demon information from a website called cryptids.fandom.com. So it's a big fandom for cryptid wikis. I got the Jersey Devil from weirdnewjersey.com, the Jersey Devil. And then I got Bigfoot from Bigfoot's Wikipedia page, wikipedia.com, Bigfoot.
We love that. Nice, concise sources. That was pretty fun. This was a fun episode. I would love to do another cryptids episode
That was fun.
Definitely on our to-do list.
for sure. Definitely we'll add that for season 2. Regardless of, yeah, for sure. I had fun. Well, I think it's time that we should say what we always say at the end of every episode. 1, 2, 3. The devil.
It's not illegal if you don't get caught.
Okay.
Okay. Wow, love that. We always say that. We always say all those. Funny how every time we bring up the stuff that we say at the end of every episode, we always say different things. Funny how that happens.
We keep some things the same and some not.
Some things will never change. Well, come back next week.
Have a good day or night.
Have a strange
Bye.
day.
Have a strange
Bye.
world.
Or night.
Bye.
Bye.